And cut it.
that was I felt like we had to get a cue for some music on, man. That was appropriate. But yeah, what's going on, Wolfpack Nation? This is did it even come through well?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
heard it.
I heard it.
Okay, good, awesome. So yeah, hey guys, welcome to the show here. This is a really good show we're going to have for you tonight. Welcome to the Tuffy Talk Live Show, guys. We have some kind of like technical difficulties. We're missing some people, obviously here, but we're going to roll with it. And so,
speaking of one that we're missing,
yeah,
chat there, Mackenzie.
The female is in the chat. So
female. What does that even mean?
I don't know. Just the chat. But no, hey guys, we got a really great show with you guys. Really looking forward to being able to talk. So definitely be chatting in with us here to get some comments and all that. But we had a really awesome game, I thought, this past weekend. 7 o'clock kickoff against Texas Tech Red Raiders, and yeah, no, come on, no, that was a joke. But we've got the Emeka Mezzi Heart is what it is. But it was a really great game. I know Leighton was there. I was there. Greg was there. Mackenzie was there. The only one who was not there was Michael. So
we got to get him to a game. We got to get him to a game.
That's okay. He's kind of out of state.
I'll get to one.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But no, we really had a great game, guys. There, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought that to me the takeaway was, one, the atmosphere, and two, the defense. What do you guys thought? What do you guys think about that?
You want to go, Mike?
There you go. You got it.
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, that's cool. The only thing that I was a little disappointed in is the game started at 7 and there was still some sun, so I don't think they got to do the full intro that they probably wanted to do. I'm hoping this week that with it being a little bit later that we get the full effect of the red lights. But I thought it was awesome. I thought they did a nice job with the lights in the fourth quarter. The crowd stayed engaged through the whole thing. It was a full stadium probably until about 5 minutes left in the game. So I thought, yeah. And then it's just fed up, like we talked about week's episode. If we keep it loud, we're going to make it a very difficult environment, and we did just that.
Yep. I mean, we didn't get to see the whole light show on TV. I mean, you saw a couple flashes here and there when they scored, but not the full effect.
Yeah.
But it was you could tell it was loud and it was packed, and yeah, it was a great game. I mean, defense was phenomenal. I mean, it was Texas Tech came into the game, averaging 530 plus yards a game, like top 10 in the country, and we held them to, I think technically they got over 300 on that last drive, but I think before that last drive where we were just playing prevent defense, they were under 300 yards. So it was very impressive.
Yeah, I was really happy about it, and I think it was a really electric showing, particularly by the defense. And so I'm going to get in here, Greg, get a plug in here for our sponsor here, Darby Electric.
Darby Electric. All right. Yeah, it was electric in the crowd on Saturday night. So, yep, they're a veteran-owned company. They specialize in residential work, but that's not all. They also build electric vehicle chargers. They do a ton of remodel work, commercial work, and many other types of small projects. If you've got one, they can probably take care of it for you. Even though they're in the primary area of the triangle, they are capable of expanding that boundary. If you go ahead and give them a call, their number is here on the screen, 919-639-0062. You can find them on their Facebook page. You can hit them up at DarbyElectricLLC.com. They're available 24 hours a day to take your call. So give them a shout. We appreciate them sponsoring us, and I'm sure you'll enjoy their work if you give them a call.
Oh yeah, yep. So we are. I think now we've got our fearless leader here, Lane. What's up, man?
Let's go.
Not much, man. Sorry about that, y'all. I was running into it's tough running Tuffy Talk. There's a lot of files, a lot of storage has to be had, and unfortunately, I ran into a problem where my storage just was like, yeah, computer, you're not going to be working until you get rid of some of this stuff. So that's what I had to deal with. So fun.
Buy a file Twitch server for you in our next annual GoFundMe campaign.
Exactly. But yeah, no, just excited to talk. Obviously sitting here 3-0, it's beautiful. Obviously, I think we've been through a good bit. Obviously, with starting with the ECU game, and then the Texas Tech game was great. The light show was worth every penny that we paid for it. That's for sure. So love that.
100%.
Yeah, no, it was sick. It was so great. And because Michael, you were actually the only Tuffy Talk member that wasn't there, man. So now we got to get you to a game, bro.
I know. Yeah, we were saying that earlier. I think I am going to try to come to the Virginia Tech game. So that'll be the night one.
I'll be there. I'll be there for that one.
All right. Maybe
Good.
we need to have a meetup then. I'm sure Kenzie will be there, so we need to get an official photo. We don't have one of those.
Yeah.
Let's re-emphasize here. We missed Mackenzie being on the show. So
yeah.
But she was there front and center. Did you guys see her on the front row?
Yeah, she was crushing it.
Definitely, yeah. I definitely saw her. Yeah.
I honestly think that chair or that seat, not that she sits in it at all.
It should be her seat.
It should be have her name. It's like Norm and Cliff at Cheers.
Yeah.
They have their spot.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, kind of diving in a little bit here about the Texas Tech game. So, obviously, great win for the most part. I think that there was definitely more positive than negative for sure. Defense was spectacular. Special teams made some big plays. Running game wise, solid. Can't say too much. We'll definitely dive into Leary a little bit here, but one thing which I wanted to kind of go ahead and plug in a little bit here is that I was listening to Coach Jordan's press conference today. One quote which kind of really stuck out to me was that we were basically 2 rookie mistakes away from winning that game 41-14. Then if that was the score, would anybody have? But if the score is 41-14, would really many people be saying too much about the offense right now? Which I get. Obviously the touchdown to Leary from Thayer Thomas was a rookie mistake by Anthony Belton that he shouldn't have been out that far on a pass play. And then obviously Demi Sumo just switched the ball to the other hand and you're walking into the end zone. So
real quick, but
go ahead.
Real quick. He actually misspoke on that because we ended up getting a field goal on
agree.
that one drive. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. It should have been 11 points. It should have been 11
correct.
Points.
It 38.
38-14.
Yeah.
But still, the same message. Yeah. 38-14 would have been, that would have been even.
Yeah.
Better.
But to the point though, the point is still valid that 38-14 that would have been no doubter.
Here's what I would have thought about that. Here's what I think. I think the narrative would have shifted to, instead of State kind of struggled on passing game, but the defense won the game. I think it would have been more, imagine State pounded them. Imagine if they really threw the ball. I think that's would have been more of the change of the narrative there. So in which those 2 touchdowns, should have been touchdown plays. Were passing plays. One was to Leary, one was from Leary. So I think you would have seen a narrative change. It would have been like, now it's like, okay, the passing offense has been kind of down to where it could have been more, hey, we won that game handily and we didn't even throw the ball well. That kind of makes me feel a little bit optimistic potential. Now it's kind of more, but we won. The defense showed out and special teams was solid and offense did enough. Kind of way it is.
Right.
Yeah. No, exactly. So, I think that for this game, really, I mean, the first thing which I'll say, I mean, and I know Macon, you'll probably love to talk about this, but you got to talk a little bit about your boy Demi Sumo. I mean, that guy has all the preseason hype that you heard.
Though, man, I can't really talk about him today.
Well, he got it back. He got it back.
He did. He did.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. I mean,
that is true.
You absolutely can talk about him. Yeah, no, again, at the end of the day, folks, he's a freshman. I mean, he's going to make freshman mistakes, and he made two glaring ones yesterday, but he made up for it with 2 touchdowns. So,
yeah, he had the best run grade on the team. So obviously scoring 2 touchdowns helps. The area he has struggled so far that I'm noticing for Demi is pass pass plays, I think, or pass blocking. He's kind of struggled there. He's obviously a freshman, but on passing downs, he's not been effective. Although he did score the touchdown, and would have had. Well, it would have been 2 touchdowns if he had caught the one and ran in. So, or then have 3 total. But man, he's really playing well. Obviously, his best graded aspect of his game is rushing offense. And then, his passing plays he struggled, but it's the pass blocking. His run blocking could be a little better, but it's he's just a guy who you can count on. I think you saw with Jordan Houston getting injured a little bit, and I didn't look like it was much. Like he might just kind of rolled up. That Demi can be the guy, and I don't know what did he average. What was his average yards per play? Does anybody know that?
They both were around 4 yards to carry.
4.
Yeah.
So four is solid. Yeah.
As a team, we averaged 3, but that counts sacks as well. So
that's true.
4's not blow you away, but it's not dynamic. It's like I said, it's a solid, good performance.
Yeah. If 4 is like the minimum you want in rushing, because I mean, if he was 4 yards 3.9, play, that's first down.
Yeah, he was 3.9, so I kind of gives you an idea there, right at the point.
Yeah. So again, it just proves that once again that it's kind of an interesting thing that we're sitting here, and the one piece of our game yesterday that I think really kept us from being absolutely blowing Texas Tech out of the water. Because I mean, I gotta say this though too, that we, in my opinion, we really did control that whole game. I don't think there was really a point in that game where our backs were really against the wall. We really controlled that game throughout. But it is crazy though how preseason I think that we would have all considered this a crazy thought, that literally yesterday the only piece of our game which we were worried about was our pass game. Like run game we're happy with, defense we're thrilled with, special teams we're happy with, but here we are with the pass game going, interesting. Now, I mean, again, Dorn did bring up good points, saying that there was 4 drops that really hurt Leary a lot, and also too the fact that, let me ask you guys this too though. What's the deal with Devin Carter? Is it just a matter of that we're just not really getting him involved right now? Like, I'm just not really sure what's going on with that, how he's not getting 5, 6 to 8 targets a game, honestly.
Yeah, with Devin, part of it is I think we're not targeting him a lot, and we're not. I think part of it's a blend of things. I think it's playing a little conservative, although you're taking shots to Anthony Smith and Julian Gray and Texas Tech that didn't cash in on him, but you did take another shot to Demi Sumo, and that was a touchdown.
Lassane had one shot too.
Right. So they're there. I think defenses early on in the season, opposing defenses are looking at State thinking, okay, they are a dynamic passing, they have a dynamic quarterback. Let's take away their best receivers. So you're not seeing the dynamic games from Carter and Thayer Thomas that you would see otherwise. So I think maybe they are a little bit daring State to run the ball. But I think part of it is Carter should be good enough to go and get those plays. And I wonder if you're going to see them open this up to get warmed up with some things at UConn and then really try to do so at Clemson. Because I think at Clemson, you're going to need to throw the ball a lot against Clemson to win that game.
I agree. Yeah, no. Well, and again, got to mention this too, that keep in mind that even though Texas Tech may not jump off the radar when it comes to being an elite team this year, that they still have a really solid, if not really good defense for the most part, obviously led by a guy that is going to be at least a mid-round draft pick with their defensive end. So, for us to be as productive generally as we was great to see.
You mean talk about Tyree Wilson? Tyree
Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson.
He had 2 sacks.
Yeah. So he's a real deal. So it's kind of and Doran kind of mentioned this as well in his press conference, that it's great that we're going against good, if not great, defensive lines like we are, because obviously when you face teams like Clemson and Florida State that both have great and elite defensive lines, you're going to need to kind of use the games like this as kind of a measuring point in terms of where are we, where are some places we need to improve individually, things like that. Again, it was a great kind of measuring point per se, but let me ask this as well. So would you guys say this is, because obviously everybody's kind of throwing their hands in the air with Leary going, what is the problem? Like, what's the issue? And to me, it really just comes down to just the what is it? The chemistry between the wide receivers and Leary just doesn't seem to quite be there yet. It just because I mean, again, obviously Leary and Emeka had a lot of time and many years to get their how do you do's and where do you want me to throw it down. But with these group of guys and new receivers like Julian Gray, like Darryl Jones, Leary hasn't really had an opportunity to do that yet. So he's only 3 games in.
And I kind of feel that's maybe not the whole story either, because again, he's played with Carter for already 2 years. That should have been there. He should have that chemistry there. So I don't know if I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I definitely think with Darryl Jones, Julian Gray, Anthony Smith, that's probably maybe a factor of somewhat. But I think it's a little bit of what's being asked of him to do. I kind of think a little bit is the situation he's asked to do. He's not throwing. They're not throwing a lot on short yardage plays, and you see Devin throwing on the longer downs. 2 and 9, 3 and 10, maybe like a 2 and 8. You're not seeing him. Hey, 2nd and 2, we're going to throw a little screen pass here. You're not really seeing that a whole lot, and I think you could, and I think you probably should at times. But State's done enough to win the game. So maybe why would you show your hand? I really do think there's some conservative play calling going on. I think it's just or just basic play calling. Yeah, we'll take a deep shot. That's nothing really. You're exposing anything offensively. I feel like the only thing they really kind of did was they're showing more of that screen with offensive linemen getting out, and those are pass plays, but they're like run plays. But those are really kind of plain. The only one that showed a little flash to me was the play to Devin Leary in the end zone. That was a trick play. That was sick. That should have counted.
Yeah.
But I think beyond that, they're just very vanilla offense to the most part. And I think it's a little bit of a I think that's intentional. So that's all I'll get at.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, they just haven't. State has had a 2-score lead at halftime in each of the first 3 games, so they're just not asking him to do too much. Like I think in the second half against Texas Tech, who was 9 for 11 for 82 yards. He should have had a couple touchdowns, like we talked about. So his stat line doesn't look as good, but the plays were there. It's just kind of execution. And I just think Doran is okay with when we've got a 2-score, 3-score lead, running the ball and controlling the clock, and
let your defense do its thing.
It kind of comes across like it's a score early and run the ball late to just be conservative, drain the clock out. So State last season, I think the thing was Trim was last season, second quarter was the big quarter. I think we talked about this last year. State would really just score a lot of points, it seemed, during the second quarter, and then seemed to be very, drain the clock in the second half as much as they could. So not really worried about it right now. I mean, a little bit I am. I'm not saying I'm not, but it's just, okay, this is just seems like the scenario we've been playing in. They're saving something. What I hope at least is what's going on.
Yeah. Well, so here, Greg, let me ask you this to kind of lead you into your thing. So how worried would you say you are about Leary in the passing game from a scale of 1 to 10?
5 and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm not.
Maybe a 6. Maybe a 6.
Maybe a 6 if I'm feeling really like a jerk. But I'm just not worried about it. Sure. Look, he's right at 60% completion percentage. So that's a number right where you want to be. He's only throwing 27 times a game. That's you're not asking a lot from your quarterback at that point. He's not having our opponents. If you probably go the other way, our opponents are probably averaging 40 to 45 at least.
Yeah.
So just a different philosophy there. And he's averaging just under 200 yards a game. But again, to Michael and even Macon's point, when you have a second half lead, why do you need to put the interception play into it, right? there's no need to risk it. I love the Bucks and Bruce Arians, and he would do no risk it, no biscuit, but it's not necessary when you have a 14, 15, 17, 20-point lead. It's just dumb. It's not good football.
Yeah.
Well, now the one thing which I would say though, right back to that though, and a lot of people I'm sure are probably going to say this as well as, well, with the phrase like, once you get them down, don't let them up, just shove it down their throats. Like, finish them off, crush them per se, and especially too with a guy like Leary, who you're not necessarily, you shouldn't be very worried that he's going to make a lot of dumb plays just because he is a very experienced quarterback. So I mean, like, do you kind of feel like that maybe a mentality like that is a more of a play not to lose rather than play to win?
Well, I'll also contradict you a little bit here real quick. I have one quick point. We did have a touchdown that was taken off the board. That was a pass. So
and the reception, the Leary. So that's like, you go ahead.
No, we were talking about the second half perspective of it. So in the second half that we did have that ability. Yeah. So I would disagree with that, the contradiction of my previous statement. So, but hey, let's not lose sight. We're 3-0. Why are we nitpicking?
Well,
I think it's a fair question. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like he was the ACC preseason player of the year, and it's kind of like, I don't know that's going to happen now at this point, just because he's been playing very vanilla to this point. So he threw 23, I think it's 23 times this game. Like he was not asked to throw a lot.
Saturday.
Which, I mean, obviously ACC Player of the Year is not a priority. But and again, I'm just more making the point because I know that from a lot of people on Twitter that they were kind of saying like, why does it feel like we're slowing things down when we should be, they're obviously down. Like, they're not able to run the ball. They're not able to really be productive at all offensively. Let's shove it down the throats. Let's finish them off. Like, let's not even make it a thought that they might be able to come back.
Sure.
But again, I agree with you. Then they were 3-0, and at the end of the day, we know what Leary can do. That's the thing, is that we're literally the only concern we have is the thing I think going into the season we were the most confident about, and I think I still am the most confident about, just because we know Leary is his toughest critic. He's his own toughest critic. So now again, you could be Clemson right now too. That literally every single game they've played so far, whether it was against Louisiana Tech or Furman or Georgia Tech, they haven't really put them away. It wasn't like a blowout. It was kind of like, it
was a fourth quarter blowout. For 3 quarters it was closer. But I agree. But if we were to I would put the how we asked about the confidence level in Devin Leary, or the concern, I would actually flip it and say more about the wide receivers than the quarterback.
I agree.
There have been a couple of opportunities where Devin's touch on the long ball maybe wasn't there. He's overthrown a couple of people, or the one in the end zone to Anthony Smith where he didn't just get enough on it. He was just a little short on it. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, and you said it, and Coach Doran said it in the press conference today, it's not like Leary is struggling. It's just sometimes the wide receiver doesn't finish the play, doesn't make the play, or maybe they're not making the right read on the defense, and they're cutting their route short or whatever. But I'm not worried about Leary at all.
No, absolutely not. So with that being said, we got some tweets here that we want to show y'all to show it off. So with that being said, all right. So Tuffy's tweets of the week. So our first one here pointed out actually from our buddy Michael. He found this actually. So Michael, kind of give some context. So where did you find this tweet or this picture?
Well, I researched it.
Oh, cool.
He went old school.
Yeah, Michael, look at you, bro. Good for you.
Just because it feels like, and we are nitpicking, but when you have a team that has high expectations, you're going to get nitpicked. And this is just compares, our first 3 games last year to the first 3 games this year, which aren't exactly comparable because 2 last year were very easy games with USF and Furman.
Hey Michael, can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, though, USF, ECU, same conference, right? Furman and Charleston Southern, essentially the same. And then Mississippi State, Texas Tech, Power 5. So So go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. So I mean, like through the first 3 games, our rushing was better last year through the first 3 games, and we're all saying that our rushing game has been much better this year. So it's just like it's overreacting to the first 3 games, but that's what we do. So it's just interesting to look at.
Well, and keep in mind too as well that it's still an early in the season thing. I think the biggest thing for me right now is just the fact that it's good to see that we have somebody else standing out besides Jordan Houston. That was honestly my biggest thing, was that we didn't necessarily need like our run game to be the best in the country. We just needed to be efficient, to be reliable, to be the ability to be able to use it in times where we need it. So that way the defense respects it, because that's the biggest thing. We just need them when we do a play action pass. We need that defensive end to bite just for half a second. But if they feel confident enough to know they're throwing the ball, they're not passing the ball, and they go just full bore right at Leary before Leary can even turn his face mask around, that's a problem. So that's the biggest thing as well. And and I think Benjamin even points out there as well, talking about Delbert Mims. He's even looked solid as well. So again, you got options. Now again, I think one of the biggest things that we definitely need Trent Penix, to come back healthy whenever he can. I think he definitely can open us up a lot. But yeah, no, again, if you're listening in, make sure to check it out here on YouTube, because again, we're not going to spend all the time going through everything you're seeing here on the screen here. But great, definitely input here from Michael's side, and you can definitely see that it's there's a lot of things that are better. There's some things that are worse, But again, at the end of the day, we're still 3 games in the season, folks. We're only 25% of the way through the season.
I'll tell you what. One thing is that I'm looking at that's better. Exactly right. 3 wins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amen. 3 wins.
And the first time since 2018 that we've been 3-0, by the way.
Amen to that. Amen.
Awesome.
So wanted to kind of point out now one of the exciting things, which is now we have moved up to number 12 in the country.
We're back to almost where we started.
But the beautiful thing is I'm thrilled we're not 13. So get away from that unlucky number.
Yeah.
But the funny thing though, which I kind of took in a couple of things. First of all, the fact that Miami dropped a lot, but Texas A&M only went up 1 spot.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
So to me, that almost seemed like kind of a correction from the previous week, because I think all of the AP, because the fact that Texas A&M lost at home to App State and didn't drop out of the top 25 was just absolutely insanity. So I think that's more of what this is more of just you know what? I think we were a little bit too high on Texas A&M, so we literally only bumped them up 1 spot. That's I thought that was interesting. But Macon, what's your thought of our placement in the AP poll?
I thought it was fair. I think it's going to be interesting this week if we can beat UConn, which that should happen. There should be no reason to lose to them. Then you're kind of setting up, I think, for ESPN game day, college game day in Clemson. I think I just saw they put a 6-day hold on the game time. So so you're probably looking at if which is another question I want to ask you guys. You probably got if Clemson. I think whether they win or lose, they're still a top 10 team. So it's going to be a top 10 matchup probably, unless somehow State gets 11, or they just hold right at 12. But I really think you're probably going to see a 4-0 State team get that 10 ranking. Somebody above you may lose.
I got that here.
Arkansas is playing Texas A&M. So
yep. So there's a couple of games here that could bump us up. Tennessee and Florida are playing each other. That's one matchup. You already mentioned Arkansas. I doubtful that Kentucky loses. They're playing Northern Illinois. So really the only 2 that I see potentially happening are those 2 matchups. Now let's also not lose sight that Clemson is playing Wake Forest. So
they could lose.
They could lose.
That could totally happen. I mean,
we could be ranked higher next week.
Yeah. I think you're looking at a top 10 matchup 2 weeks from now. And I really think that's going to set up for game day. I don't know if there's going to be – I haven't looked at the rest of the schedule. Maybe I should. But I don't know what other week 5 games will be higher priority nationally. So
yeah, I saw a tweet. There was 2 other possibilities, and I don't remember the teams that were
Oklahoma
involved.
State and Baylor is one.
There, okay.
Oklahoma
don't
State and
remember the
Baylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it the Alabama,
That's a big
Arkansas?
Big 12
Alabama,
matchup.
Arkansas, that's it. Yeah.
Thanks,
Ooh.
Connor. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yep. Thank
Alabama,
you.
Arkansas. No, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That one's probably going to get it. I'm not going to lie.
Unless Arkansas loses. If Arkansas loses,
Unless
this week,
Arkansas loses.
I mean, Arkansas hasn't looked great. I mean, they beat Cincinnati, but then they almost lost at home to Missouri State.
they did. They
past
struggled.
Well,
in
here's
that
my
game.
other thing. What other game this year is Clemson really going to get featured on? The best. Like the ESPN loves Clemson,
Well,
so
Florida State. If Florida State keeps playing well, that could be.
maybe. Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably
Hey,
the next best option.
That's probably
We could be hosting Florida State for College Game Day if things
Yeah.
go really well. So,
You're right.
you know, I mean, that's.
So you're
That's-
saying we hope Florida State continues to win? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, why wouldn't you want it?
Sure.
I mean,
let's go.
it's
Bring it
good-
on, baby.
It's good for the conference.
It
Yeah.
is. Well,
Well, let
and
me ask
again,
you. Go ahead,
go ahead.
Glenn. You got it.
Well, I was just gonna bring up this one tweet, which I got to get to, but basically, how we have 7 teams in the ACC right now that are
Yep.
3-0,
Yep. 5 on the
Uh,
Atlantic side.
5 on the Atlantic side. So yeah, Duke actually, shocker, is
Wait,
3
you
and
said
0.
how many? You said how many?
Seven
Seven.
undefeated, 3-0.
I think.
Yeah.
And
I
of
think that's
those,
the first time ever.
yeah.
Yep,
And
up
then
there
five
it
of
is.
those,
Go ahead.
5 of those are on the Atlantic side. The only 2 are actually Carolina and Duke
Mhm.
on the coastal
Yep.
that are undefeated.
Yep. So it's great for the conference right now. That, I mean, overall, because I think going into the season, everybody was like, "Oh, the ACC is so weak this year," you know. But I mean, I think it's anybody's ball game. Like, I think that bet at the beginning of the season of that, basically you could bet Clemson to win the ACC or anybody else to win the ACC. It's like, I would definitely bet anybody else because,
Yeah.
man, it is anybody's ball game. Florida State could win it. Wake Forest could win it. Miami could sneak up and win it. You
Syracuse.
know, Syracuse,
Syracuse, dude, is
Oh.
Come on,
really.
Michael.
I
They
don't
almost
know.
got
No,
in there.
hey, I think
They
Michael
look
might
good.
have- I'm not saying win it, but I am
No.
saying, dude, have you
They're gonna
seen
be-
Garrett Strader throw the ball lately?
He's a totally new quarterback.
He's like a totally different dude. He's
Yeah.
like 20 for 23.
Yeah.
He could
That
hit
game against
broadside
Purdue was
barn
good.
last year.
The game against Purdue.
I'm
was
not
really
saying
good.
game
Purdue.
winning-
Look, hold on. I'm about to
There's
get
7 seconds
me
left.
and
That
Michael
was
will
crazy.
fight you. We will fight you right now. About
I said
Syracuse.
Garrett Schrader
I'll
was
see
good
you in the
last
parking
year,
lot
and
of
you guys
Virginia
laughed
Tech.
At me. I said he was good
because
last
Garrett
year,
Strader
and you
wasn't
guys-
good last year.
I said if he could
ACC.
figure out how to throw, and he did.
Yeah, but he's not okay. You're a quarterback and you can't throw. I can't call you good. So,
That's fair.
but he could run. I just think I tell you what, man, that stretch between I thought, we all knew Clemson was going to be the tough game. That Florida State Syracuse right after that 3-game stretch is
tough
going to be
stretch.
no joke.
You're right.
At Clemson, Florida State at home, at Syracuse. I mean, if you come out of that 2-1, that's not bad. I mean, honestly, you hope it's Clemson you're 2-1 with. You hope it's 3-0,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
get
If
what
you
I'm
were to
saying?
take a loss in that stretch, you're probably hoping it's against Syracuse.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I would hate losing
No,
to Syracuse.
I'm
but-
only
No,
reason
I
I'm saying
see
that
what he's saying. That
because of tiebreakers for the to get in. You would gonna think that Syracuse
got
is going
you.
to lose more conference games than Florida State or Clemson.
I get
Oh
you.
man, I don't know. Clemson. I mean, Syracuse's defense is way underrated, and
No, they're going to stub their
let me
toe.
ask you this question. Right side note before we get back on track. Does Clemson? I mean, does the Coach of the Year awards this year? I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. If things keep progressing the way they are, you probably got Dabo,
Duke.
Dino
Dabo
Babers.
and Doran, Babers and Norvell.
Norvell. And then you
Elko.
got Elko.
Duke.
I mean, that's going to be a
Clausen?
very Clausen. I think this year's Coach of the Year is going to be very interesting.
Who
Oh,
won
so
it
yeah.
last year? Did Clausen win it last year?
Clausen,
I'm
I thought,
guessing.
won it last year.
And
Or
rightfully
no,
so.
I think it was
Yeah.
Clausen. I think it was Clausen.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
I don't know.
But again, we're in week 3. Let's slow down. Let's pump the
I
brakes.
know, I know.
Let's
Now,
pump
let
the
me-
brakes.
now to kind of get back on subject a little bit, let me ask you this question: would you rather Clemson or Wake Forest lose this game or win this game?
That's a
That
good
was going to be my
question.
next question.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
Clemson.
See,
Did you
it's
say
kind
win
of
or lose.
I'd rather have Clemson lose.
Yeah, I agree.
What? No, I wouldn't. Do you want to play a ticked off Clemson the week after? I wouldn't.
I know. Well, that's the
But
thing,
it is a
though, is
conference
that
loss. It's a conference loss. So
Clemson, I think they'll be ticked off from last year's game.
Yeah,
We're getting Clemson's best shot either way.
let us know in the
So,
comments
agree.
what you think.
yeah. Well, okay. And let me add this too, because so theoretically, if Wake Forest wins, that puts Wake Forest as the team that we need to have truly our crosshairs on. And we play them at home, but Clemson, we're on the road. So meaning that, because in the situation where Wake Forest beats Clemson, Clemson beats us, and we beat Wake Forest, then we're back to where we were last year, where basically it's a much likelier chance we could get our way to the championship than if Clemson beats Wake Forest and then Clemson beats us. Then we're basically pretty much on the out looking in.
We're already week 3 and breaking down. If this breaks, this week 2, and this week 2. That's just
well, we're only 2 weeks away. That's the crazy thing. We're less than 2 weeks away.
Meme of that guy on the board, he's like losing his mind. That's us guys right now.
Theory.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it really goes back down to Nick's point that he made a while ago, saying I think a big reason people are nitpicking is because of the fact that we have so much more expectations this year than we normally do. I mean, this is a year where we really do have expectation to win it all. So and again, believe it or not, we're less than 2 weeks away from playing at Clemson. Like it's coming up quickly. So to answer your question though, I would say, let Wake Forest beat Clemson. But I also too think, man, if Wake Forest beats Clemson, do we see Cade Klubnik against us? That's my also thought as well.
No. They've been winning. They've been winning. Why would you change it up right now?
But if you, that's what I'm saying, if you lose to Wake Forest, do you
pun intended? Why would you throw them to the Wolves?
I mean, it depends on how DJ plays in that loss. Like if he's absolutely terrible, maybe. But if he's just decent to lose because it's a shootout, then
I don't think you do that going into a big game. I just don't think you do that. So, you're going to totally mess with the psyche of your offense if you just say, "Oh yeah, biggest game on the schedule." I mean, they could argue Wake Forest, but they're probably circling NC State on their schedule. It's like, let's just totally change quarterbacks. I just think, I don't know, unless the team's like coach.
Now, what I could see, what I think would be more realistic is DJ struggles in the first half and they throw him in the second. And he does really well, and then they carry over to the next game. But there's, barring an injury or something crazy, no.
Yeah. And to the question here about
is it a
Robert
game?
Gibbs, the trap game. If we lose on the 40-point favorite, I don't think so.
Well,
I mean, it could be, but I mean. So.
Well, and again,
stranger things have happened, but.
Well, and again, especially this year in college football. But I mean, because this is closer to the definition, because everybody was saying ECU is a trap game. This is more of a trap game.
This is more of a trap game. Yes, if you're going to make the argument, this is. But no. I will say no, because again, it's a sold out crowd. First off, we sold out a game against UConn. Night game.
I was surprised to see that.
That was a little bit of a surprise for
me
too.
Here's partly why it's parents' family weekend, so that's part of it.
There you go. Yeah. There we go. I hope we go out and handle business. Get out of there healthy, because we're gonna need every able body against Clemson. If you're gonna do a definition of a trap game, sure, but there's no way. There's no way we lose this game.
I think the percentage ESPN had of us winning this game was like 99.5%. Something crazy.
It was 98.5, but
yeah. But I mean,
it actually dropped then. It actually dropped because it was 99.
Yeah. But again, we're nitpicking here.
But I mean, by definition, yes, this is a trap game. The question is, will we fall into the trap? No,
I doubt it. But again,
sounds like you guys in the chat want us to lose. No, I'm kidding.
No. Hey, they're interacting with us. We appreciate it.
I know.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, no, Connor, we appreciate y'all's thoughts. And especially too, Robert says that's why it'd be too easy for our guys to think they just have to show. Well, but again, this is a team that, again, everybody watched the NC State football series before the season. And it's very clear that, they're a 1-0 mentality, and they know that the only person that on their schedule that can beat them is themselves. So and it's so leadership driven. So, and also too, I think that again, it goes back to what did we learn against DCU? We came out, and had some areas we were flat, and it almost came back to bite us. So that's why I truly do believe that for this game, just like Charleston Southern, we're going to punch them in the mouth early, hang 30 or 40 on them in the first half, and then start to bring Chambers and all those guys in the second half. So, yeah, no. To answer your question, Robert, no, they can't just sleepwalk, but they just got to walk in and handle business. Like, not do anything crazy, just take care of business. Just play ball. We'll take care of it. So, so now I want to kind of bring up our because we actually have our in-state trivia we want to get to. So I want to bring this up real quick. So obviously got to give a huge shout out to Aiden White, who won the Walter Camp FBS National Defensive Player of the Week with 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6. That was clear as day. I mean, I'm sure that when he caught that ball and he lifted his head up and looked downfield, he was like, oh my gosh, like there's nobody between me and the end zone. And then he had 1 sack and 5 tackles. So again, a huge shout out. And because I didn't even know this either until after the game that Shane Bow didn't even play.
Nope.
It was only Aiden White and Derek Pitts. So
that was a little bit of a surprise because Doran had talked all week as if Battle was going to be back. So I'm curious to see if he had a setback or something.
Well, they said during the post-game press conference, they asked him warm-ups, and he said he didn't feel 100%. Like, all right, there's no point playing you.
I didn't.
Yeah.
There's no point pushing him. We have plenty of cornerback depth that we didn't need him that game. So, and especially too with again 2 weeks coming up against Clemson. It's the same thing with Peyton Wilson. It's like, are you really going to push Peyton Wilson, get him to play against Charleston Southern?
Which,
when we have the
by the way,
linebackers
that was so awesome to see him.
Oh man, yeah, we have not talked about him when we need to.
Did
Peyton Wilson was a freaking beast.
That play to the quarterback was sick.
Did anyone see him line up at safety?
Yes, I noticed it too.
I did. Yeah, I did see that.
I was like, apparently he did. Yeah,
and
he blitzed.
What is the strategy of that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe it was they subbed or they didn't sub, and we had the wrong guys out there. I don't know.
Probably what it was to confuse the offensive line because technically he's lined up in the safety spot. So basically the offensive line has to keep in mind there's a linebacker at the safety spot, but in such a split second thing, you may not be able to see that or recognize that. So again, hey, it was pretty cool and pretty smart to see, Peyton Wilson lined up in safety and then blitz up the middle. That was pretty cool.
I had to make sure that it wasn't 10 instead of 11. I was like, that's 11. Is that the Peyton Wilson 11, or is that just sometimes there's multiple 11s on a team?
Right.
I was like, did someone else get that number?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Typically talked about the light show. Yeah, definitely. Again, so sick and looking forward to seeing it again this Saturday. And then Robert, we talked a little bit about Leary and Carter at the beginning. So check it out more towards the beginning if you don't mind. Just we got to keep going because we got a couple more things to get here too. But again, huge shout out to Aiden White. Obviously, so excited to have him. Derek Pitts looked great as well, and then Peyton Wilson was a freaking beast, man. And because the beautiful thing is that play where he cut off the quarterback on 3rd down. He was right towards me, so I literally saw him coming. I was like, "There's Peyton!" And then boom, baby! I was like, "Let's go!"
Dude, so, I know Doran said it, but I saw it live when I remember watching that play. Like he just it was like a dog on just sticking on something to a tree. Like a guy, he was like he closed in on him so fast. It was. You don't have that from the other linebackers, man. I don't even know if you have that from anybody else, but maybe Tanner.
I was gonna say maybe
at his size, it is impressive. And it is his first game he played without getting hurt. It was great.
Led the team in tackles.
Yeah. I think we can all agree that if talent wise, Peyton Wilson is definitely right up there with the most talented linebackers in state has ever had. No question about it. Now, obviously, 100%. The biggest thing is health-wise, but I mean, if that guy could stay healthy, he would break every record that we have defensively. Seriously. So, give you a shout there. Go ahead.
Real quick before we close the loop on Aiden, I thought he was really solid in the ECU game. Didn't show out as much in the Charleston Southern, but this is 2 out of 3 games where he's been one of, if not our best defender out there. So
him and Tyler Baker Williams.
Tyler Baker Williams, of course.
Secondary, but you're right. I mean, and then we're not even talking about Tanner Ingle. I mean, like
who had a great game.
Right.
Great game.
So again, just shout out to Tony Gibson and co for an amazing game and really control Texas Tech pretty much the entire game besides those 2 drives, which I mean, a lot of it came down to just that the problem is that we scored one play after they turned the ball over, they put them back out, and then we went 3 and out and they went right back out. So that definitely didn't help them either. So all right, so now with our last tweet of the week, want to give a quick shout out. This is a tweet here from David Hale Joint of the longest active winning streaks in the FBS, and so we're right up there with some of the best in terms of Clemson. Go ahead.
I'll make this note. He made a correction afterwards that said NC State is actually 6.
Okay.
So it's actually like you're tied for the 3rd longest win streak in college football right now. So that's really good. I mean, the home win streak is a different thing. This is just true like a win streak. So.
Just wins.
And really that should be 7 because we would have beat UCLA and then they would have fallen off the list. So they should not be counted on this stat. But
and they might be and UCLA might be winning on the field, but they're not winning, in the stands. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Man, what embarrassing pictures.
3,000 people at their games.
That or a bunch of people dressed as chairs. I'm not really sure.
UCLA to the Big Ten, guys.
It's happening. Just go ahead and book it.
I mean, we won't say on this, but I mean, if you're not drawing that against, your own conference, like, what do you think? How do you think you're going to draw against Minnesota?
Yeah, when Rutgers comes to town, that's going to be really Indiana football. Yeah.
Real quick too on that stat, what we didn't talk about is 12 home wins in a row now for State at Carter Finley. And if we go undefeated this year at home, we will actually break the record.
Wow.
For State,
yeah, most consecutive wins at home.
What is the record?
Wow.
That's a good.
16. 16.
Wow.
So
it should have been in trivia.
Well, and so speaking of trivia, so now we're going to jump into some Mississippi State trivia, baby. But actually, these questions were not put together by moi. They were put together by our very own Macon Adams here. So actually, I'm actually going to be part of the people doing the guesses here today. So looking forward to that. So Macon, man, I guess you can kind of talk me through it.
Yep. So here we go. So we have 9 questions, guys. All right. So you guys can answer this. You got the whiteboard there. All right.
Got it.
All right. We got on the phone. Does Michael have any? Michael's going to write on his wall, actually. So it's but
he doesn't have kids yet.
Here is the first question because I'm noticing obviously we have high preseason rankings at 13. We're currently ranked 12. Obviously, if you beat UConn, you're probably in that 11, 10 category. You might say 12. So here's my first question. What is NC State's football's highest AP poll ranking ever?
Just like for one
at any point. At any point. Yeah, 1 week.
Just put the answer. I already got it. Let's go.
And make sure to comment, what your guesses are as well. So I got mine ready.
All right, let's see it.
Dang, we got A, B, Z.
So the answer, according to Sports References, it's my source.
They're usually pretty good.
It's actually B.
Wow,
it's
impressive.
B.
Yeah,
and
good job, Connor.
The year, there's actually happened twice, I believe.
74.
It happened 1 year. It happened 1 year. 1 year, 1967.
Oh,
there was the highest we got in 1967 was number 3.
Interesting.
So just an interesting fun fact. So all right, I'm going to go to the second question here. So keeping score, Michael's 1, Greg and Leighton are 0. Now again, I will just most of my questions came from sportsreference.com. So
and Macon, can you scroll yourselves, or do I have to do it for you?
I think you're going to do it unless it's somewhere. Let me look over here. I don't know if I can see where you.
I can do it.
In, so
no worries, I got you. All right. Next question. Question number 2.
All right. How many times has NC State been ranked inside the top 10 nationally at any point historically?
And read out the answer choices for those listening.
All right. Yep. Sorry. Good point. A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5.
Okay. We got.
All right, we got some answers rolling in. I'm seeing answers here. All right, let's see what we got. All right, I can't see what Michael's is. C.
Bunch of C's. Everybody C except for Benjamin. Who put A.
All right, did anybody? Let me see anybody in the chat here. If anybody got C or
typical
A
E wanted to
B.
be difficult. He actually said the number 4.
Yeah,
we'll accept that.
Pi is the answer. No,
Yeah.
No, actually, I mean, nobody got it right. It was the answer is B. The answer is B. B. We've been ranked in the side of the top 10 again, according to sportsreference.com. We went 3 times. 2020. I think that's right. Yep. The 1967 ranked 3rd. 1957 we were 10, and there was actually there's another rank. I can't remember the number. I think I can look it up. But
we trust you, Bacon. We trust you.
It was B. Yeah. I believe it was B. I saw 2 10s and
I swear.
So, yeah. So but all right. Go to the next question.
All right, got it.
Michael still won. Everybody's got everything else. So all right. Number 3. What is NC State's highest graded aspect of our team's performance this season nationally? So based on Pro Football Focus. Yep, going to Pro Football Focus. Is it A? It's a rushing. B, pass blocking. C, coverage, or D, special teams?
Okay.
All right, let's see, guys. All right, see answers roll in. The answer is D, special teams. So Greg and Michael got a point. Layton got a big old goose egg there. And Kathy and Connor got the answer right. So good job there, guys. Special teams. So State is ranked 13th nationally as far as how they're performing as a unit on special teams. There's a few different other items there, but I think I have to hear. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, can we pause there and talk about special teams for just 1 second?
Yeah, go for it. I'll start with stats.
What do we? So I was kind of torn about the kickoff aspect of it because we weren't moving him in the end zone, but man, our coverage team was really good.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. They were really like most of the time they weren't even getting to the 20. So I would almost argue that I would take that because you're not giving them the extra 7 to 5, 5 to 7 extra yards starting at 25.
Well, I feel like it's kind of one of those things. It's like do it until you shoot yourself. Do it until it. Until unfortunately it hurts you. Because I mean, there will be, hopefully not, but there might be one time where somebody, returns it for a touchdown. Which, if that happens, okay, now let's revisit it. But I mean, if this can work out for us for the season, where just our coverage team is doing that great of a job that they're able to stop them between the 15 to 20 yard line every time, then yeah, absolutely, I'll take the 5 to 7 yard advantage every single time and twice on Tuesday. Sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and actually it was wrong. Not wrong. I was right earlier. They've updated it. State's actually ranked 12th, so it's still their highest. 12th nationally. Their second. Well, I won't give it away. I will see
Save
what
that.
you guys got on the next question. Let's do that.
Okay, cool.
And then I'll get into it. So go to question 4, Lane, if you don't mind.
Gotcha.
All right. This is.
Was there a tie then? I'm assuming
there was, but not that question. All right. So, who was State's highest graded offensive and defensive players against Texas Tech?
All right. You've already screwed yourself on letter B.
What did I say?
You have Peyton Wilson and Aiden White.
Maybe.
Oh, come on.
Maybe. A, Savion Jackson, Derek Eason. B, Peyton Wilson and Aiden White. C, Jordan Houston, Tim McKay, and D, Anthony Bellett and Isaiah Moore.
Yeah, my bad, Macon. I didn't catch that. I should have caught that for you.
But did you leave that one that trivia question off?
No. I just did them in order as you texted them to me. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So D. So now this is supposed to be kind of like a trick question. All right. So let's see here. All right, we got some B's, D, I see some C. Let's see, bunch of B's, A, and D, and D. So we got Dad over here, D-A-D. Okay. The answer again, this is how they look at film, breaking down each individual player's individual performances, how they formed. The best players, how they played the position was Savion Jackson, Derek Eason. Now that's not to say Peyton Wilson played poorly. I think he was second most. But these guys are offensive linemen who don't get hardly any attention. Savion Jackson had, I think, did he have a sack solid. or a pass rush, QB rush?
Yeah, I don't think he had any sacks, but he definitely had some tackles for loss.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. I mean, you would think it'd be Peyton Wilson, Aiden White, and I think those two guys were second at their positions. I can go back and look.
Yeah, I don't understand how Aiden was.
Oh, wait. Sorry, there's two defensive players too. I guess that did get what.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
My bad. See, this is my first time doing trivia, guys.
and letter C had two offensive players, so it obviously couldn't be B or
yeah.
C.
See, so now,
so I had a 50-50, and I still got it wrong.
Now I'm a moron. Now you're saying I'm more, and everybody on here is like, it's gotta be B, it's gotta be C.
So no wonder we put D and A because they're That's funny.
All right, see, you guys stick with me. I'll help you out. It might be me being an idiot, but I'll help you out.
It's Monday. Someone's got a case of the Mondays.
All right. So let's go to the next question, guys.
Okay.
How many? This one's a little bit of a trick question too. So, but I went through how many individual players have been consensus All-Americans from NC State. Is it A? This is football. This is all football, I would say. A 12, B 11, C 10, or D 9. Put these in descending order. A 12, B 11, C 10, or D 9.
I feel like you're a school teacher, just like reading out a quiz to the students.
All right, everybody, raise your hand if you need a.
Yeah. Excuse me, Greg.
All right, let's see the answers. See some answers rolling in here. Let's see the board, guys. A, D, and A. We got Ada over here now. All right. So the answer,
we have the American Disabilities Act.
Well, and hold on, I got to give a shout out to Connor. Got D, who said D. Kathy, you said C, and then Benjamin said B. So we got all kinds of different answers.
Yep. So the answer for this question is D 9. And I had the list of names out, and I'll tell you why it's a trick question. Jim Richter, Garrett Bradbury, Ted Brown, Bradley Chubb, Dennis Bird, Akeem Aquanu, Torrey Holt, Mike Primanti, and Bill Yost. Jim Richter was All-American twice.
Yeah.
But Mario wasn't on that list?
Nope. Not consensus.
Oh.
Interesting.
Because I had him in my head as one.
Yeah, me too.
At least, again, not the sports reference. He was not on that list.
That's fair.
He probably suffered from the that our whole D line that year was so good that probably took away from having the individual stats that some other players had.
Yeah. Probably.
You would think you honestly forgot about Mario. You would think he'd be in that conversation, but was not. So let's move along there, guys. It looks like Michael is doing well.
Michael's killing it.
Connor's doing pretty well in this chat too.
Yeah.
No one likes Michael anyway. He's a show off.
Yeah.
He's a know-it-all, literally.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, what ACC opponent does NC State have the worst win percentage against?
I got this one.
All time. Is it A, Clemson, B, Virginia Tech, C, Wake Forest, or D, Miami?
This one's close, actually.
We got some C. I don't know if.
So it started with Connors. So Connor said C.
B.
Kathy said B. Benjamin said B.
We got Wake Forest, Virginia Tech in the chat. We're thinking, what do you guys think? What are your answers? I can't see. A, Clemson, B, Virginia Tech, B, Virginia Tech. All right.
Underline Virginia Tech.
Underline.
I'm pretty confident about that. I'm pretty confident.
All right. So the answer, for those, anybody in the chat, I'll give you another second too, but the answer is D, Miami.
Wow.
State has now maybe some of that kind of played into maybe the Big East time a little bit, but it was the ACC team. Now State is 5 out of 17 all time. They've won 5 games out of 17 matchups. They've tied 1 time.
So that's where it hurts State. We haven't played them nearly as much as Virginia Tech, Clemson, and Wake Forest.
That was my thought process in picking Virginia Tech.
I know we lost to them in the Micron PC Bowl one year.
Who, Miami? Well, I mean, Miami, we've played Miami a total of 17 times all time. It's just maybe sometimes it was.
No, it was definitely when they were the
Big East. Yeah.
Yeah, we played them in a bowl game years ago. I think it was Micron PC.
So, but that percentage is 32.4%. So, we lost to them last year, obviously. So,
and the year before that.
So, yep. So Miami. I think the next lowest was Clemson. So,
yeah, we had like 30 games under 500 against Clemson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Question 7.
Well, I mean, and this whole decade, we've lost to Clemson. You know.
And of those four, we only have a winning record against Wake Forest.
Yep. All right.
And for these next ones, ignore the question numbers, as I forgot to change the question number. So we're on question 7, not question 6.
Yep. So number 7.
Oh, I got this.
What ACC opponent does NC State have the best win percentage against? Is it A, Boston College, B, Syracuse, C, UNC, or D, Duke?
Oh.
A, Boston College, B, Syracuse, C, UNC, or D, Duke. Best win percentage all time.
All right. So I think it's going to be this one. Just, again, that same.
Connor, Shane, and Kathy all say B.
All right. Let's see it, guys.
Everybody says B.
All right.
Consensus B. Consensus Syracuse.
Everybody's right.
Yeah. Huzzah.
I said Benjamin. You ruined it, Benjamin. No, I'm kidding. What were you thinking? I'm kidding. It was Syracuse. Yeah, I can't remember the other percentages were, but it is Syracuse. State has played them 15 times and won 13 times.
Yep.
So it's 86.7%.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Yeah,
that's
we've
crazy.
owned them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Benjamin says I like to be different. LOL.
Yeah.
And ironically, one of those losses was at each home and away.
Interesting. Very interesting.
All right.
Next
Any other questions?
Nope.
Next question. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Next question. Question 8, not 6.
Jeez.
8.
All right. Man, we got 3 6. Okay. This is not a good sign. Who was the first ever head football coach for state football? And I realize these, and I'm going to say this, these are all real names of coaches we've had. I didn't just make up like Jim Bob Brown. I didn't do that kind of thing.
So these are actual all head coaches at one point.
Yeah. Okay. Pee Wee Herman, Mr. Bean. So A, Perrin Busby. B, Mickey Whitehurst. C, Jack Hegarty. Or D, Harry Hartzell. That sounds like a Harry Potter name.
Harry Hartzell sounds like
these are like so early 1900 names right here. That's what this is.
Yeah.
These are
the Perrin Busby, the Duke of Raleigh, and it's A, Perrin Busby, B, Mickey Whitehurst, C, Jack Hegarty, or D, Harry Hartzell.
I'm gonna preface my response, but I just thought this name was the coolest out of all of them. So
okay, fair enough.
A, Perrin Busby, D, Harry Whitesell. And what's yours, Leighton? Let me see it.
Oh, sorry.
D, Harry Whitesell. We got ad over here. All right. So the answer for this question is A, Perrin Busby.
Let's go.
Greg with the comeback. Connor is cheating, is what Connor's doing.
Connor's cheating. Connor's killing
Somebody's Google is really working well.
Somebody's like, no, but so it was Perrin Busby, 1892. He played coach 1 year at NC State.
Who can ever forget the old Perrin Busby?
Yeah, good old Perrin Busby.
I wonder what he's doing these days.
Yeah, he's probably living up in Cabo somewhere. But there was another question I had that I didn't see Leighton actually put. I think he actually missed, and it was where the tie-in question was. So, Leighton, you stink. No, but I'll just give you the stat.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was
the question?
Yes, you do.
Hold on. What was the question?
What was State's highest graded aspect of the game's performance against Texas Tech?
Yeah, we did that.
I did have that.
No, we did it. We did it against nationally.
That was national for overall season. Oh, apparently you don't know it all, Michael.
So I'll do this kind of on the fly. I'm gonna say it just for. Is it A, run defense, B, pass blocking, C, coverage, D, special teams? That's essentially what it was the first time around. Run defense, pass blocking, coverage, or special teams. What was the best part of our game?
You want to just
Just say it.
Just say it.
Run.
I would run defense.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
pretty good.
Layden, what was your thought?
I'm gonna go on the limb. Yeah, no, I gotta say run defense. Actually, no, forget
If it's
that.
not at special
Gotta say
teams.
run defense.
If not
Yeah.
at special teams, but I'm gonna go run
Yeah.
defense.
All right. So you guys are all right. It's run defense.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
yeah.
their best graded part of their. They were 13th nationally there too. So.
Wow.
Oh, you were talking about like. Oh, okay.
We can
Well, they were. That's what I said nationally. Sorry. I said nationally.
Okay. Okay. No
Okay.
problem.
They were third. Well, yeah, they were. I think they had the best graded run defense nationally for that. It was really good. Pass blocking, they were, I think 14th, and some other ones. They had a really good performance. Really good showing for them this year. So or this game.
Well, and speaking of having a good performance, gotta give a shout out to Connor, who says, "Not gonna lie, I didn't Google any of that." So if that is the case, then
Connor,
bravo
we
to
like
you,
you, but
sir.
we don't believe you.
I think Connor was
Good
like
job,
6.
good job.
I think he was like 5 for 8. I think something like that. So
well, how did he get Perrin Busby though? That's the thing though. That's the reason.
Greg
got it. What are you
Perrin
talking about?
Busby.
I got
Greg
it. You
got
can tell
Perrin
I-
Busby.
I know,
But
but
I will
Perrin
say
Busby.
that was the order. I think that's the exact order from start to finish of like the very first coach was Perrin Busby, then it was Mickey Whitehurst, and then
yeah.
Look, you're not
I
a
mean-
true State fan if you don't know who Perrin Busby is.
well,
Perrin
I thought you know what? I'm a State fan. I don't even know who the very first coach was. And
Yeah.
so
No, I didn't
fair.
either.
Now we
there was
do.
a
I told you why I went for him. He had the coolest name.
yeah.
Well-
And I will say that was not sports reference. That just was Googling. 1892 was the first season, and that was the coach. But there was sports reference had some other guy's name. Like he had like a C.S. Lewis kind of name. The first 2 initials were like letters. Just like okay, so I'm not picking you.
So we
Well-
were talking about the run defense. We held him to 54 yards rushing.
Well, just like Peyton Wilson said in his press conference, if to any of our opponents coming up this season, that if you want to run on us, good luck to you.
Good luck.
So
to you.
Yeah.
great,
So,
great quote there.
I'm going to grade myself as like a solid B minus for the
As
trivia.
Trivia question.
It might be a
Questionnaire.
little bit overshooting there. Guys, leave in the comments what you would grade my trivia skills. Granted, take into note that the numbers, the question was not me. So
I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
Alex Trebek is rolling over in his grave.
See,
Yeah.
I didn't say this was the position, and then you guys go, "What is pass
What
blocking?
is-
See, you
What
didn't
is
talk
Perrin
like
Busby?
this,
Who is
but you
Perrin
didn't talk
Busby?
like this
Who
into your
is-
microphone.
Yes, the correction
Well-
is
well,
Perrin Busby.
and,
Judges.
and also too though, I got to give a shout out to our main girl Ken's, who fortunately isn't with us. I'm sure most everybody who hasn't seen her, maybe Benjamin hasn't, that apparently she blew a tire and she's been dealing with that all day, and she was stuck. She was stuck at a tire store and just having a heck of a day.
This tire
So
store was on fire, by the way. Like
Oh,
I can't
wow.
even imagine. Like I guess it burned down the one that like
What? The tire
Yeah.
store was on fire?
No, so apparently the place that the tow truck took it to had closed because it had a fire. So
oh,
Uh,
nice.
This is a crazy story. Wow.
no,
That's- That's case of Mondays right there.
no.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what I sent her on. If you go to her Twitter, I actually said someone's having a case of the Monday.
As
So I'm-
my old youth pastor used to say this saying, he go, "It's crazy, but it's true."
yeah. I
And
mean,
it's like this is, but there you go. That's hope you got your tire fixed, Mackenzie.
yeah. Well, hopefully
Absolutely.
she's not stranded on the side of the road. That's more important. But
Absolutely.
she just got home a little bit ago. But
No,
we miss
absolutely.
you, Kens.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, though, again, definitely got to give a shout out. Obviously, got a huge game coming up this weekend. UConn got to take care of business. 7:30 p.m. at the Carter. And also two things. Want to give a quick shout out. First of all, we're doing a giveaway for 2 tickets right now. Actually, upper level, 50-yard
now.
line, home side. So again,
Right
great
now.
tickets. That again, you know, all you have to do in order to enter is just be a follower on Twitter. All you have to do is retweet that tweet and like the tweet, and you're automatically entered, and you're have a chance of winning 2 tickets to the game. Also, too, if you haven't checked out already, today, actually this afternoon, we actually just released our first vlog of the 2022 football season. So we just released the one today for ECU. So make sure to check that out. And then the one for Charleston Southern is coming out on Wednesday. So make sure to check both of those out. And also, too, that make sure as well, if you see me or any of the Tuffy Talk folks around the stadium or whatever it may be, make sure to stop us, say hey. It's always great to put some faces to names. I know Tim Stillwell actually stopped me at the Texas Tech game and said, hey, so it was great to meet you, Tim, if you listen to this. And also, yeah, again, just if you haven't already, again, hit that subscribe button, which is free to do, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever we go live for any of our live shows, whenever we do any of our watch parties, whenever we release any new NC State content. Again, you get all of that. You get notified for absolutely no charge. And all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And also, too, if you enjoyed this show, if you are a huge NC State fan just like us, hit that like button. Only true NC State fans hit those like buttons. So make sure, again, do us a big favor, hit that like button. And then also, too, if you haven't already, give us give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter or Instagram. But again, thank you all so much again for tuning in. We really appreciate y'all's support. And we will see y'all Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Talk to y'all then, folks. Go Pack, baby.